Welcome back. I hope that you all found refreshment during the intermission. We want to thank once again our priestesses of Aphrodite for joining us and paving the way as we make our way on the road to Eleusis. Our next stop is the House of Baubo. Welcome, House of Baubo. Esme Dutcher, our votary of the House of Baubo, would you please introduce yourself and the other illustrious and other word that sounds like juicy but also illustrious at the same time, members of this panel?
Yes, I am Esme Dutcher. I am the votary of the House of Baubo, and I was the vessel in, I think, the 2017 SMF. And with me today is our current vessel, Lola Stardust, and our previous vessels, Isadora Laveau and Isabelle de Fleur.
Thank you so much, Esme. So some of our viewers may have noticed that this is called the House of Baubo, while the others have been called the Temple of Aphrodite or the Temple of Poseidon, so on and so forth. Could you speak a bit about why that is different?
Yes, so Baubo is not a deity in the same way that the other gods are. They are star deities, and she's an ancestral deity. What that means is that within the myths, she is a mortal, not a god. And there is a lot of mystery around her history. And if you look at different texts, you'll get different stories. Is she a goddess, or is she a human or a legend? And so for our purposes, she's an ancestral deity. And so we are the House of Baubo, not the Temple of Baubo.
That is wonderful. Yeah, the metamorphosis, as one of our priestesses has posted here, is that the metamorphosis of Baubo myths of woman's sexual energy by Winifred Milius Lubell says she is no more Greek than African, no more Attic than Paleolithic. The image of Baubo spans eras and cuts across cultures like a ubiquitous time-traveling pilgrim. So she, in our work here, is sacred hospitality, the sacred energy of being brought into the home. Whereas if you start delving down the paths of Baubo, they will take you to places that you will not have expected, because she has a varied and very interesting history. Yeah. We are getting underway. And so to start off, can you all give us a piece of wisdom that Baubo has left you with? And we'll start with Esme.
Okay, a piece of wisdom that Baubo has left me with. I don't know where to start on that one. I think it might be an appreciation for the body, and she's kind of similar to Aphrodite in that way, and that she thinks the body is beautiful no matter how it looks, stretch marks, wrinkles, she doesn't care. But she also thinks the body is funny. And all people are equal, and we all have senses of humor, we all have bodies, we all poop. And so you don't need to get caught up in the details, because we're all humans with bodies.
That's fabulous. Lola, do you have anything that any bits of wisdom that Baubo has left with you?
Well, I find it hilarious that everywhere I go within 5 seconds, the topic of poop is brought up. So I'm appreciating that. Yeah. Kind of along the same lines. She really teaches you to embrace even those kind of yucky things that we find about our body. You know, if you've got hair in places that it shouldn't be, or the sagging things and the bigger things and the droopier things. She's like, put a mirror down there and look at it. Like, she just wants you to love it and just embrace it. And it has been like, she is so therapeutic. She is so therapeutic for any body dysmorphia you may have. She celebrates that. And I have put a mirror to it and looked at it, just saying.
Isabel or Isadora, do you have anything?
I'll go. For me, the ancient of vagina power, right? And female power. The balance that you can be a powerful woman but not hate men. The vigilanteism has stuck with me. That was not something I would have stood up for other people. So part of the lessons was an awakening of what women are suffering around the world to something like hair prejudice. So that was a big thing when I held Baubo. For me, was signing petitions that people could go to work with, that women could go to work with their hair how they wanted. It's the oppression of the female power is shocking. And Baubo, comedy, tragedy, right? You laugh at the tragic things to help you get through it, and it's healing, but it's there. So I was surprised as I was working with this entity of laughter at the social justice things that were brought to my attention and still need to be addressed.
Thank you. Yes, I completely agree with and had same experiences. Maybe not as strongly for them, but I did witness that for myself. Uh, the describing the strength that she left with us or with me, the best analogy I can give, which that's what's coming up for me, is that, why ask for a pair of balls? Or why say grow some instead of why not a vagina? Those things take a pounding and keep going, kind of thing. That's the type of personality Baubo is. And it's refreshing to be able to just stop and go, okay, you're right. I don't have to be so upset. I don't have to do this. I know that I'm spiraling down. And the opposite of that is laughter, and it pops you right back up, and it helps you to get on your feet again instead of feeling like you're drowning. So it just like pops you out of the vortex and helps you to have the strength to go on and enjoy it while you're doing it. Because you got to go on, and she knows that, and your whole self, everything about you, not just your vulva or not just your body, but also who you are, which is why the laughter and why the body. She wants you to know that your whole self is sacred, and sometimes that is truly overpowering, and you've got to sit with it for a minute. She doesn't mess around. It looks like it. But she does mess around until she gets you to see that you are sacred and everything about you is sacred. And yeah, looking at it is good for you. It helps you to come out and go, okay, I don't have to hide. I don't have to hide. And I have strength in my being, no matter
Power.
what shape, no matter what size, no matter what flavor or scent or whatever. Your whole self is sacred, and you need to take
And
care
eat
of.
pineapple because it makes you smell good and taste good down there. And
Yeah.
You said
And learn
smell,
how
and I
to
was like,
take
that's
care
what
of
the
yourself
pineapple's
and
doing.
keep yourself in that sacred space. Is teaching you that you can't just go take a shower and call it good. Make it a sacred space, make it a sacred time of you with your deity self, your sacredness. That's what
Thank you.
my big experience with her was.
Nice. Okay, so I would like to say I'm going to ask in a couple questions for all of y'all to tell us jokes. So I'm giving you a heads up so you can think. So I want to hear your
I
favorite
passed
jokes.
mine already. I gave it to you.
Nope, that one doesn't count. So it was
Why don't
good.
witches wear underwear?
Why?
Better grip.
Ah.
I hope everybody comes and sees Lola's Gigliana this year. It is gonna be off the hook. We're gonna laugh so hard. Oh my goodness.
I hope everybody comes too.
So we have a question from Chris. What would your favorite story that would help describe Baubo to someone who doesn't know her be? Like, what's a story that would describe how you see her?
Would that be historical or experienced?
Yes.
Okay. Can I yes. Experience wise. So I invoked Balbo for Llamas monologues, and I kind of had an idea of where I was gonna go with it. And but it was kind of like I had one note on my computer. It said laughter and vagina, and I just kind of was like, that's gonna be where I go. And I don't know if anyone saw my invocation, but there was throughout it, I was pulling things out of my vagina and sharing them with people. And that idea came to me literally like 10 minutes before I was to go on because, okay, it's Balbo, House of Balbo. The truth be told, I was going pee, and as an older woman, sometimes we are not as moist down there. And when we use the toilet paper to, wipe, it gets stuck up there. And so my toilet paper was stuck in my vulva, and I started pulling toilet paper out, and Balbo's voice went, "This is it. You are going to pull things out of your vagina. This is it." Because I just started laughing, going, "You've got to be kidding me. Like, this is the most Balbo thing I've ever done." And so that kind of influenced the invocation, and that I love that story because I really wasn't planning on doing that, and she was like, look what you're doing right now. Yeah, let's do that." And so I grabbed like the nearest things, like a wine bottle, and I even had a Daryl Dixon doll from Walking Dead. I pulled him out. I don't know if anyone noticed it was Daryl Dixon, but I pulled him out of my vagina, and I can actually say that now. I pulled Daryl Dixon out of my vagina. Thank you. Next show at 10.
I just realized that I wore this heart for Aphrodite because we just did Aphrodite's temple, right? But this other necklace attached itself to this and was like, "No, take me with you." And I'm like, "Okay, whatever, I'll take you with." And I just realized that this is what it is. And yeah, so here we go. Baubo was like, "I'm coming with you." Yeah, and for all of those who don't know, it's this. Got this little heart for Afro. Yeah, so that was awesome. Does anyone else have a story that they would like to share with that'll help explain Baubo to people?
Well, I think that the story that illustrates her best is the one in the story of Demeter and Persephone. But if people want to hear that story, they can come to Spring Mysteries and hear it, or go read the original. That's cool too.
I think that that is the best way to go. Yes, Isabel?
So I see her very much as balancing. As we come to know deity better, and the awakening I feel is happening in the world, that I think the world is opening to more worshipers of Baubo, vagina, healing waters. The best time I had was when I got to do the Gigliana, and we get, it is a sacred ritual. It is, and you invite the quarters, and when I got to when I got to invite air, I think that was my absolute favorite part. And felt like I hope you see my picture. I'm trying to share it. I felt truly free in that moment, like truly, truly free, that you can be sexy, every body shape, every color, every nuance is sexy, and to love yourself and be confident. And I think I would highly encourage everyone to get to know Baubo and drink your water.
So there is a mythic relic within the house of Baubo that is a small book, and in it is every name for vagina that the priestesses were ever able to think of. And yeah, so
All names for Coochie are holy.
all names for Coochie are holy. And so, and I believe that there's actually some people that believe that Baubo may have had non-typical genitals, and that was part of her thing, correct?
Yes, that they may have been misshapen, or that she may have been intersex.
There we go.
Uh,
So we have some more questions here.
Can I just say I'm glad that you said misshapen, because sometimes I think my vulva is shaped like a sad dolphin. I'm just saying, it just, a very sad, sad dolphin.
A poor pussy. You're
That's
welcome.
on my song playlist. Is it that song? Is that what you're talking about?
Hey, back to the sacred waters
there's a
real
song.
quick. Back to the sacred waters real quick. That is very, very big for Balbo, is that water is sacred to her. And during my time with Balbo, she was saying that there's a lot of excessive water used on down there for us, in that there's excessive water used to make toilet paper. And this was during a pandemic, during the time when said toilet paper was kind of scarce there for a bit. And so she said, hey, use the water, get a bidet. And I did. And you know what? I've used a lot less toilet paper. I'm helping to save the planet. The water is sacred in that it needs to be taken care of and not misused. So, or used less of at the very least. So,
Speaking
next
of
question.
cleaning, Dusty, I know when Belladonna drops her robes off at the dry cleaner, and the dry cleaner said to her this last time, come again, and then Bella said, oh no, it's only toothpaste this time.
I did, but it wasn't toothpaste.
Oh,
That
Aphrodite.
Lewinsky. That Lewinsky.
I really appreciate you telling jokes. It makes me happy. We actually had somebody say that they want that book of all of the names of vaginas. So maybe House of Baubo can work with Wicca Press and we can write all names for Coochie are holy and publish a book. And some of those proceeds can go to the fundraiser that the House of Baubo works for. Yeah, is that something we could do? Let's talk about that later on. And for those that really dug the idea and brought it up, we will have some information on that coming soon then. That'll be fun. That'll be a fun project. So someone asked, I want to know what life-changing knowledge that you got from Baubo. A lot of people want to know how Baubo affected you. Yes,
Days
Isadora?
are sacred. The days are sacred.
Right? The holy well.
For me, it's about, I turned 50 recently, and there was a lot of weird things connected to it. I was looking forward to turning 50, but then I got COVID and I had to cancel my birthday party. So I was all like pouty and like, meh. But accepting turning 50 and getting older and like, because from what I have read, Baubo is not a, spring chicken. She's an older, larger lady with maybe some gray and, and I feel that is important to celebrate women at this kind of age where, because it's sometimes hard to feel that way when you're looking at your younger friends and that skin looks so good and everything's tight and not sad dolphin. And I just feel like I totally am. She made me embrace being this age and having this body and this wisdom that comes with the stories that this body has gone through. Because she is that woman that I feel like sits at the party and goes, oh, those, come sit next to me if you want to hear some dirty shit, and that reminds me of my aunts, that are like, hey, come sit next to me. I've got some dirty jokes and some pearls of wisdom that your parents will never tell you, and none of these people ever will. But I'm going to tell you the truth, and I'm going to make you laugh, and I'm going to make you look, not fear getting older, because it's fun and it's funny and it's hilarious, but it's also you can be very insecure and sad about it, but talk about it. Like I just talked about my dolphin vagina. Like who does that? Like, like that she makes me like share that with people, because there's women out there that are going to go, oh yeah, I get it. And, so she's freaking awesome.
I
Yeah,
think
I
that
love
is so beautiful, Lola. Like we sometimes our grandmothers or our great grandmothers have passed. Who's going to tell you about how to take care of your vagina, how your body changes as you get older? Like these were not things we talked about. It was, oh, you're down below. Like we didn't even say it, right? You're private. So having that woman in your life who can tell you what you're going to face, that menopause can last for like 10 years, things that really we as women need to know and have someone give us that wisdom. So I full on have had, I'm turning 52 next month, and I'm with you. Like embracing my crone is a gift that Baubo gave me. She took away the fear of that and made me excited for, and of course I'm still riding motorcycles and doing my thing, because Baubo will encourage you to live life to the fullest.
I'm doing burlesque, for heck's sake. Like I just started burlesque last year at 49. So that was total Baubo. That started after it was announced that I was going to be Baubo. She was like, because I've been wanting to do it ever since I can remember. And she was like, do it now, do it. And I'm like, but I'm older, because all the burlesque performers are way younger. And I'm like, and she's like, what? Come on, do it. And that's been huge in my life.
I
One of
totally
our
think
ladies,
Baubo is the burlesque queen.
one of our ladies says the dolphin in me honors the dolphin in you from the comments. So way to be inspiring, which I think is what we're hearing is very a common thread with Baubo, is that she is an inspiring figure. In fact, that's a question that I want to ask that hasn't been asked, but I want to ask you. How do you, she is an inspiring figure. In fact, I would even say that she inspires Demeter. So what is it about Baubo that is so inspirational that reaches out to people? What's that kernel, that seed thought?
Laughter is infectious. Smile at someone and see if they don't smile back.
Yeah, I agree. She pulls you in with the dirty jokes, and then she keeps you there with the groundedness and the body love.
I was told that a lot when I was holding Baubo. I was all about the laughter and everything, but I was surprised and really moved how people said when I spoke, when I was fully invoked as her, they cried and felt love at such a deep level. And now I get to experience that as Lola's invoked, and last year with Isadora, and it just, Baubo is love. Like that, it's not just laughter, but that motherly, grandmotherly, just love every part of you. You know how you can't do wrong with the grandmother who just adores you. You are perfect. So Baubo loves you.
Yeah, that's the one. It is that deep, deep rooted sacred love that you just can't escape. She's not just somebody who cracks jokes just to crack jokes, because we know a lot of those can just be downright holes. And she's not. She is full of love and compassion and understanding. She's, at least back in the time of the Eleusis, when it was a physical city, at least at that time, I would very much call her um, the nurse of mankind. Like she nurses and aids you. She pulls you in with the laughter, and then she heals you with that love and that compassion, and you just can't do anything but just accept it, because you just know that she doesn't allow for a rejection of love. It's just, you can't not allow it, because it's a force of nature you just can't mess with. And she knows how to wield it so well. She's a perfect priestess.
So would you say that courtesy, that she is a sacred expression of courtesy and hospitality, that she's almost one of those, if you've seen the movie White Men Can't Jump, she's not the one to ask you if you want water, but to know your thirst and to feel that and go, I know what it's like to be thirsty, and so I know you're thirsty, have water. No?
Yeah, even if you say no, 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 she knows you're thirsty.
Okay.
I found
Cool.
with Balbo, it is a lot of laughter, but in that laughter is so much emotion, because laughter is the best medicine. I mean, that is the motto. Laughter is the best medicine. And she makes you laugh to take you out of, I mean, we need to laugh. Like the world we're in right now, everything is so serious, and she has taught me she has opened up a gift in me that I've already had. Is I love making people laugh. And it's not just about how dirty can I get or how funny am I. It's I want to share that laughter. I want to make you forget, even if it's for 5 seconds, that your bills are piling up and there's a war going on. Because I'll tell you what, it heals. I'm getting goosebumps right now. She is so compassionate with that laughter. There's so much more in those jokes and that humor, and it's really made me feel that the tears I have cried for her and because of her is not because I'm sad. It's because the love is so overwhelming. It's so overwhelming, and she's just soft, bubbly, jiggly woman that she just hugs you and you just want to be like motorboat. Just oh god, she's amazing. Okay, I'm done.
No, that's awesome. So would you
Can
say that yes, Esme, please.
well, I was wondering if you could talk about the sacred water aspect in more depth, especially since I noticed that everybody on the call like reached for a beverage at the exact same moment. And so we've mentioned the sacred waters and like offering a drink, and this is what I think is a really
Water.
interesting aspect of her, right? She guards the well at Eleusis. She guards the metaphorical. She guards medical and metaphorical gateway of the vagina, and she offers a drink of kykeon to Demeter. And in some myths, she was a wet nurse. And I had a baby a little over a year ago, so I've been really contemplating this mystery of breast milk as sacred waters. And I just keep finding connections of like kykeon, breast milk, the well at Eleusis. She may have been a wet nurse to Eacus, Dionysus, wine, the water of life. I just keep finding more and more of these connections.
I'll drink to that. That's awesome. So I grew up with the story of Persephone. I went to a really good public school. I learned myth from the time they started teaching us to read until I graduated. And when I was taught the story, there was no Metnaira in the one that I learned. There was no Kelios. There was Baubo. She met Baubo, and Baubo took her home to Baubo's home and was like, I have a baby. Do you want to take care of my baby?
I just read that story, Dusty. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm reading that book.
No,
I think
please.
that there's an amazing book called The Metamorphosis of Baubo by Winifred Lubell. And if you get that book, if you want to know about Baubo, it is amazing. And that story is in there about her being originally her and her husband or something, like the old couple that welcomed in Demeter to take care of her and show her hospitality. And yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, because I thought that was the more popular story because it's the one I know, and I'm an Aries. So if I know it, it's the most popular one, obviously, that everybody knows, of course. But have found that actually, no, that is not the more popular story. It is not the one that most people know. It's nice to know what book that it may have come from. So we have some people that are saying that they love how unself-conscious that Baubo is with the love for herself. You know, I had a nurse at school who was 50 something, and she was tall, like really tall. So she was kind of gangly, but pear shaped. She was very non-typical sort of shaped lady. She had a very deep voice. And one of the things I remember from her is her saying, when you come into my office, it's not your thingamabob that you hurt. It's your vagina. It's your penis. It's your testicles. I don't care what your parents call it. I care that I know what the thing is that got hurt. I don't know what a thingamabob is. And this conversation has brought her, I haven't thought about her in probably 20 years, but I'm realizing that she very well, because she always kind of cracked jokes as well, but she was a little serious. And yeah, very stern but loving. I appreciate y'all bringing her memory back to me. That is a real gift that I don't think you knew you were giving me, and I appreciate it. So if I wanted to honor Baubo on my altar in a public place, okay, where maybe I can't put the more body things, what would I do and what would I put on that altar?
One thing we haven't discussed tonight is one of Balbo's symbols is the acorn. The acorn. She has it. If you look at her statues and stuff, and you look really closely at the very top of what you think is her head, there are 2 acorns on the top of her head.
And frogs.
I don't know much more about that mystery other than acorns is a thing for her.
And
I do.
frogs.
And frogs. And frogs.
frogs.
I don't know.
Does anyone know why the frogs? Because I had to look it up because
Is it because it looks like a woman's butt?
It's the shape of, you know, when you see the Baubo statues and she's got her
Mhm.
legs spread, it looks like a
Mhm.
frog. It's a
Mhm.
frog. Yeah. So yeah. Yes.
Like
frog.
this, maybe.
That one.
Yes, frog.
Oh yeah, the frog legs. Yeah.
Yep, the frog legs.
What I've
And
heard
actually,
is that frogs have magical transformative powers. And another thing you could do is draw V's. In some ancient sculptures and like cave drawings, that's how they would represent the vulva, is they would draw V's, but modern society wouldn't know that that's what you're doing. And so I once went to an art gallery that had this beautiful painting of a goddess, and the little artist note said that I believe the more we put the goddess's image around, the more we bring her energy back into the world. And so I love the idea of just like drawing little V's everywhere, just everywhere you go, graffiti some V's.
You guys, a bunch of the previous Balbos sent me art, and I got to know some incredible vagina artists. And I just want to say from that same book we keep quoting, here's a quote: "The vulva isn't exhibitionism, it is transformation, not pornography, but rather tribute to her power." And I don't know if anyone remembers those artists, but if you scroll back, House of Baubo, if you scroll down far enough, you will see where I posted some of the artists that do this beautiful work to call it sacred, because it is.
She
And
also likes flowers, especially ones like calla lilies and others that look like the orchid is one. My apologies, Lola. Please continue. I did not know you were about to speak.
I was just going along that same line. The she celebrates the vulva as because that's where the power is, that's where the magic is, and I don't want to get too political, but the patriarch is very scared back then, and even now the patriarch is a little afraid of the women parts, and they would try to hide that and push it aside, and she was all about celebrating that because that is where life comes from. There's so much power in it. It's not just to be crude or like Isabel was saying. It's I mean, yes, there's a part that is because it's funny and it's fun, but the root of that is the power and the magic where it comes from, and we need to celebrate that. Yeah.
I really love that if you are inclined to do the research also, every culture that I looked up has some kind of either a human or a deity that represents the same as Balbo. Look at the African culture and you will find all kinds of amazing stories, some connection to the vagina and the healing waters. It's everywhere. It is international.
Can I just touch on real fast the matriculated scholastic knowledge within the House of Baubo? We have 2 actual legitimate librarians inside of this temple, and to be a legitimate librarian is study. It's not just a job title, it's actually an honorific to be a librarian. So when this panel tells you that there is a literary aspect that really is something you should look into, please know you should take that to heart, because they know what they're talking about when it comes to books and reading in this particular temple. So I noticed that one of the symbols that you didn't mention is actually the one that's on the it says Temple of Baubo, but it's supposed to say House of Baubo symbol on your background. So what about an upside down broom would be about Baubo? Does anyone know? I was there when they were created. What is it, Lola?
I'm going to take a stab at this. I'm going to take a poke at this. I'm going to take a poke at this. But
Yeah.
I have read that there is a correlation between the broomstick and riding the broomstick and it being the phallic part of it. You would put your flying ointment. I may be way off, but there was whole stories about flying ointment and putting it in your vagina and riding the stick, and you would get excited about it. Everyone looks very shocked, but there are stories about this. Okay, so that's what I assumed it was.
It also looks like the space where the legs come together. The
And
upside
that too.
down broom.
And that too.
So, yeah. But also, she is hospitality. One of the things I was thinking about when you were talking about what is sacred to her, I always try to thank people in hospitality and service gigs for the work they're doing. Like if someone's sweeping up the floor at the movie theater, yeah, they're getting paid to do it, but if they weren't doing it, then I'd be walking on sticky stuff and popcorn, so would you agree that through honoring people that are in service positions, when you see them, you are doing something in your day-to-day that would honor Baubo? We had some people ask on what you could do in your day-to-day to honor Baubo in your life.
I once heard that if you are the kind of person who puts a shopping cart away, that is a sign that you are truly a good person, because there's no reward for that. Nobody's paying you. Nobody's watching you do it, right? It is something you do if you believe it is the right thing to do. So that makes me think of Baubo. But yes, definitely thanking and enjoying people. I think one of the lovely things about Baubo is how much she enjoys taste and savors eating food. Oh, Lola had a thought, and I was all about coffee when I was with Baubo. And let me tell you, as a Cuban woman, coffee is sacred. But Lola, what were you savoring?
Oh my God. So I was watching these past panels and you guys would talk about what have you been eating as Baubo. And at first I was like, I don't know, man. And I have gained all the weight back that I lost because I just want food I want just food, just, and I mean bad, like greasy, cheesy. It's like, it's orgasm in my mouth kind of. Just, oh God, like cheesecake and cheeseburgers and lots of cheese and meat and grease, and I can't stop eating it. And it's amazing. And at the same time, I feel like Baubo is like you know, I don't want you to lose too much weight. Like, keep that beautiful belly, keep those beautiful curves, because I tell you what, man, I was on Weight Watchers and I was very happy with what I was doing. And as soon as I started working with Baubo, I'm eating and everything. And also, you know, eating pussy is good. Sorry.
Do you have a hard time this year, Lola? Because I did last year wearing a bra. It was so hard to put. You just don't. Yeah,
No bra.
it just seems
No
so
bra.
superfluous.
No bra. Screw the bra.
All right. So we have a couple last questions here as we come up to the top of our hour. So if you're someone who's just dipping your toe into working with Baubo, what would be a good way to get started? Let's start with Esme on this one.
I would say getting grounded. If you're a chakra person, getting in touch with your root chakra, we think belly laughs and dirty jokes, we think second chakra, which is great. But also like getting rooted, connecting to your ancestors and the earth, like go outside and feel the ground with your feet and feel the ground with your hands, and like get out of your head and get in your body. That was my first step when I was her vessel back in 2017, was just like, be in my body, be in my body. And I think it's a good step for most people.
Yes, Isabel?
One of the most incredible things I did, and I don't know if you have this opportunity, but I hope you do. We have here in Washington State a female only spa, and going into the baths where everyone was naked, nobody cared. And I got to really experience that every body type is sacred. There's no Photoshop in there. You are looking at all these different women, all these different ages, and realizing that real humans have intestines and real humans jiggle, and it just, so if you don't have the opportunity to go to a spa like that, take a moment, and I know Aphrodite would agree, look at yourself in the mirror and love you. All of you is sacred. Love you.
I was looking in the mirror just yesterday at how much weight I've gained, and I know I don't want to, I hope this doesn't trigger anyone with body issues. This is my thing, but this is a beautiful story. I was looking in the mirror at the weight I've gained back, and I was looking at the side view, and for the first time ever, I was not upset about it. I actually rubbed my big belly, and I knew that was Baubo. I knew that was Baubo, because I would be mortified as Lola, just going, oh my God, but I couldn't stop looking at my big belly and my big boobs, and just, you know, and I was naked in the mirror, and it was the most, when I said therapeutic in the beginning, if you have any body trauma or anything, I really suggest working with her. I run a local women's red tent. I've been running it for years. That is a wonderful way too, where women get together and share experiences. And but I want to point out, Dusty being not the only male here, I just want to honor you, Dusty, for running this, because you are an honorary Baubo. Like, you're so, we feel safe with you. And that's really important, because Baubo is about that sisterhood and that womanhood, but she's also about the men who support that and who love that. And we couldn't have asked for a better host than Dusty, who just is so, I just wanted to say that, because I noticed, like, here's these beautiful women and this beautiful man, and I'm like, shit, man, Dusty, you're awesome.
I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. Very, very much so. Isadora, do you have anything that you would like to add here at the end?
Well, if none of the above works for you and it's just not your thing, then something that is everybody's thing is take a nice long shower. Take a nice long soak in the tub. Something where you are surrounding yourself with the sacred water and rinsing away your day, or rinsing away the ick that you've been feeling going on. Like, just soak in it. Long shower, long bath, make it sacred, and just wash away all the things that aren't working for you. And that way you're making room in your cup for more laughter.
Isabel, you had one thing to do before we.
Yeah, I know we're leaving soon, but Lola bringing you up made me think. All women are women. I just want to say that if you embrace the feminine energy, I just want to be clear that if that's you, you're a woman. All women are women. Baubo loves you.
Oh, and it's
You're awesome.
okay. Dusty's just a lesbian in disguise.
I was trying
And
to
we
hide
love
it.
him for it.
I love y'all. Esme,
We
did
love
you
you,
have something?
Dusty.
Yeah, I have one more piece to share before we're over. Something really important that Baubo taught me. She taught me the difference between garbanzo beans and chickpeas. Do you guys know the difference between chickpeas and garbanzos? Well, I've never had a garbanzo on my face.
Yup, I appreciate that. And on that note, thank you so much. We want to thank the priestesses of Baubo for joining us tonight and bringing laughter, love, and levity with them, answering our questions, sharing their work with this ancestral deity. And if you want to learn more about the House of Baubo and how you can participate directly, you can go to atcwicca.org/house-Baubo or house-of-Baubo or House of Baubo on Facebook. We come to a close for tonight, but you can return next Thursday at 6 p.m. PST or 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the next step on our journey down the road to Eleusis. The Temple of Hades and the Temple of Hecate will both be in attendance and answering your questions. We shall see you next week as we continue to Eleusis. Register to join us at the Mysteries at www.freemysteries.com. Blessed be.